brain goes into gamma brainwave patterns, and the person is feeling an awakening.
The forbidden secret they never taught you. There's something buried in the words of Jesus, something most people have never seen. Not because it wasn't there, but because it was hidden in plain sight. A code. Not written in numbers or symbols, but woven into the rhythm of his phrases, the pauses in his prayer, the silence he retreated into. And now, after centuries of being ignored, deliberately or by design, this sacred key is resurfacing. A spiritual technique so powerful it can awaken a forgotten center inside your brain. A center ancient traditions called the Eye of God. What you're about to hear might not have been spoken from pulpits, whispered in seminaries, or written in textbooks, but it has been felt by sages, mystics, and truth seekers for thousands of years. And right now, it's finding you. The truth is, this message was never lost. You were meant to find it exactly when you were ready. And if you're hearing this right now, it means you're ready. Welcome to New Paradigm, the mysterious eye hidden in your brain. There's a small pine cone-shaped organ nestled between the two hemispheres of your brain, roughly the size of a pea. You've probably never given it a second thought. It's called the pineal gland. Science tells us it regulates melatonin, the hormone responsible for your sleep, your circadian rhythms, and how your body aligns with day and night. But that's just the surface. What if this tiny gland was far more than a sleep switch? What if it was the eye of God? Yes, you heard that right. Ancient traditions from the Vedas of India to the temples of Egypt revered this part of the brain. Not as mere biology, but as the bridge between the physical world and unseen realms. They called it the third eye, the Ajna chakra, the eye of Horus. And their symbols? Astonishingly, they resemble modern cross-sections of the brain. Coincidence? Or a forgotten science of spirit? Jesus knew and he left clues. Now here's where things get really wild. Jesus didn't speak in medical terms, but he didn't need to. He spoke in vibrational codes. Keys meant not just to inform, but to awaken. Take this line from Matthew chapter 6, verse 22. The eye is the lamp of the body. So if your eye is healthy, your whole body will be full of light. Let that sink in. He didn't say eyes. He said eye, single. What was he pointing to? Not the eyes on your face, but a deeper vision. The inner eye. The spiritual center capable of seeing truth beyond illusion, light beyond form. Jesus wasn't giving poetry. He was giving a technique. The desert was a portal. So how did Jesus unlock this inner vision? Let's look closely at what he actually did. He withdrew constantly into silence, into stillness. He fasted. Not just from food, but from noise, from distraction, from the sensory overload that blinds the inner sight. Why? Because silence is the sound of the soul. And in the desert, symbolic of inner emptiness, Jesus wasn't escaping life. He was aligning with it. The desert is not a wasteland. It is a womb, a sacred void where the divine voice becomes audible, not to the ears, but to the spirit. And in that silence, something extraordinary happens. The inner room is not what you think. You may have heard this verse before, but listen with fresh ears. When you pray, go into your room, close the door, and pray to your Father who is in secret. Matthew chapter 6, verse 6. You were probably told this meant a physical room. But what if that room is inside you? What if closing the door means shutting off the five senses so you can open the sixth? So you can feel instead of just think. When the outer world fades, the inner temple activates. And at the center of that temple, the pineal gland. This is the sacred altar. And here's the catch: it only activates in stillness, in darkness, in full presence. Prayer was never about asking. Contrary to popular belief, Jesus never said to beg. He never said to plead. He said to believe, as if it were already done. Whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours. Mark chapter 11, verse 24. This wasn't motivational fluff. It was a vibrational truth. Prayer wasn't a cry for help. It was a state of consciousness, a frequency of inner knowing. When the ego is quiet and the spirit is in control, belief becomes a bridge between thought and manifestation. This is how reality bends. Science is catching up. Now here's where it gets even more real. Modern neuroscience is discovering what mystics have known all along. During deep meditation, during prolonged silence, the region around the pineal gland lights up with intense activity. Some call it the seat of the soul, others the center of mystical experience. Lucid dreams, intuitive insights, altered states of consciousness, these all correlate with pineal activation. The gland even contains crystals, yes, actual biological crystals that may be capable of transducing electromagnetic signals, like an internal antenna. You are literally wired for divine perception. And that's not spiritual fluff. That's biology confirming mysticism. Awakening the doorway within. So what happens when you begin to practice this inner retreat? Here's a real story. A man began applying this, not as dogma, but as a daily ritual. He silenced the world, sat in stillness, focused on the inner temple. And slowly, things began to shift. His dreams became vivid. His intuition turned razor sharp. He started sensing things, decisions became clearer, patterns fell into place, and life started flowing. He wasn't reading about truth, he was becoming it. And then he realized he wasn't the only one. The collective awakening. All over the world, something is stirring. People are returning to what was once hidden in scrolls and sealed behind temple walls. They're feeling a pull to turn inward, to remember something long forgotten. Addiction is being replaced with alignment. Trauma is being met with truth. Purpose is rising where confusion once lived. Why? Because the veil is thinning, and the pineal gland is the gate. For centuries, this knowledge was buried under religion, kept quiet by institutions, feared by those who wanted power outside of you. But now, it's resurfacing. And you're hearing this now not by accident. Something ancient is calling you. The sacred technology Jesus left behind. Let's make this plain. Jesus didn't create a religion, he revealed a method, a way to remember what's already within you, a path of silence, stillness, vision, and faith. Not in a doctrine, but in the divine spark inside your very DNA. When he said, "Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God," he wasn't speaking metaphorically. He meant it. When your heart is clear, your intention is aligned, and your spirit is still, the veil lifts. The body becomes light. The third eye opens, and the pineal, it's no longer just a gland. It's a door. And that door, it's been waiting for you. Have you ever experienced a moment, maybe during prayer, silence, or even a dream, where you felt something activate deep inside, like an inner knowing or vision? What do you think it was? I'd love to hear your thoughts below. If this message stirred something inside you, something familiar, something ancient, don't let it fade. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more spiritual keys like this, and ring the bell icon so you never miss a moment. What's awakening in you now is just the beginning.